Hi, welcome to Ocean Yumi's channel. So let me turn this up a little bit. So, as you see, I'm going to review Tyler Perry Straw. Let me find the pictures. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's get bigger. So, the other day, I finally got a chance to watch Tyler Perry's Straw on Netflix. It's very interesting. The character, I forgot what the characters. I forgot the character's name. I forgot the character's name. The mother character is in a seems like a hotel where there's lots of noise and all that, and it's like she's protecting her daughter from the noise from what's around her. So she'll give her headphones not to hear what's going on next door, of sexual nature and all that. So then the alarm goes off. So she gets up as normal to usher her child to school. She gets her, ready and all that, get her to school and all that. And then as she's coming down, the landlord is like saying, I need my money now, and all this. So the mother in the story is saying, yeah, soon you're gonna get your money, because she works in like a grocery store. So because she has to drop the young one to school, she makes it, and she's late at the grocery store. And she also owes the school money. I think it's about $40 or something. So she sees the child off to school, and then she comes back, and then you see the headmistress waiting outside waving. The lady, like, she's going through a lot. You can see by her face she's going through a lot. Not only, I would say, outwardly, inwardly, you can see it on her face. So as she reaches the grocery store, she has one of those bosses who consistently is in her face, consistently. Oh, you're late, and all this. So the mother's constantly getting phone calls and stuff. So though she's there, she's apologetic. I'm sorry, I'm late, and all that. And he goes, oh, what's it? You gotta go help out with the next cashier space. While she's there, you see that she has a friend who understands on what she's going through. So the lady tries to give her money to help her. She goes, no, it's okay, I can do it. I'm soon gonna get my money. All right. So I think later on in the movie, because she has to go back to the school to pay them. So as she reached there, you see them taking away the child, and they say, oh, she's got bruises on her body and all this. And she said that's because she fell in the bath, and she needs her medication, and she's got this rucksack with this science project. Now, in all of this, the science project actually has a thing. It's like it's all around this science project, and also no, I missed the part. Then she goes back to the grocery store, right, to get her money. But when she's there, there's a hold up. So she's in the middle of this hold up. She's like, but I need my money. Can you not forward me my money? Can you not? Can you not? Can you not? The manager is like, no, I'm not giving you no money. I'm giving you enough chances. This, that, and the other. I'm gonna fire you. So while they are there, a robbery happens in the in the in the back of the manager's office. So the guy has tried to hold them up, and she in turn has a gun already. I think she has a gun as well. So she ends up shooting the robber, and then she said. So then the manager goes, "Okay, I'm gonna say that you set us up. You set us up. You set us up. So you set us up." She said, "No, I just came in for my check. I just came in for my check so I could go pay for my for my daughter's lunch." He goes, he says, he's like, he made it his utmost, I'll say, to torture this girl. It seems like every chance he got to be in her face, he seemed like he was in her face. But, obviously, like I said in the post, when you had the last straw and you reached that space of no return. So she shoots him. So on the table, there's loads of money there and whatever. Sure enough, right? She could have taken all that money, but she just takes enough to go to carry back to the school. And then, and then she leaves. So now as she gets the check's blood splattered wherever. As she makes her way, she goes to the bank across from the grocery store. There's a bank across the road. So she goes there. And she goes, I want to bank this check. So I think the lady seen the gun now, right? She triggers the robbery alarm, right? But then by triggering it, like the police comes in, she's already had a run-in with one of the policemen where they said, anytime I see you, I'm going to get you, this, that, and the other. She's already been in a problem with the police, and the one particular guy have a problem with her. So she's there now. And she's saying, can I just cash my check? Just cash my check. Give me what I want, cash my check. So the character goes through a lot in that. I don't even know how many minutes of the movie, because you see a lot of twists and turns in it. And so what I'm going to also check as well while I'm here, because I want to. So it's a single mother who navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading her down to an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of suspicion in an indifferent world. So they're meaning that how she gets really caught up in a situation and she doesn't realize she's there. She's just there to get her check. That's all she wants, is her check, so she can go back to the school, so she can go and give the child the lunch money, right? And the manager that is there is after a while she softens to her, because she remembers her and all that. Now there's a young lady there, the bank teller, who's like, why are you being so sympathetic to her? This, that, and the other, and the other. Then you see the difference of the age gaps and understanding, because there's elderly people there, and even the detectives was kind of like, but I've never seen a hostage being let out of a hostage situation before, nothing like that, right? So they found things very funny. very strange how this robber was moving in the bank, right? So one of the tellers puts on a live. So in the live, you see her sitting down, and I think the detective, I forgot Taylor. I forgot. She's an actress and a singer. Who's the detective? When she explains, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to make ends meet. I'm trying to do this for my baby. I'm trying. I just never seem to win. I never seem to be the one. I never seem to be that one. I never seem to be that person where like it all comes together. There's always something. I'm getting chucked out of my house. My baby's sick. This, that, and the other. She starts listing all the stuff to the whole of the people's watching them. Then you see the people coming out and supporting her, and even the detective is like, what the detective that cornered her before, the two policemen, sorry. So the single mom kept saying, if I go out there, that policeman is gonna get me. That policeman is gonna get me. Because the situation that is that how she's the one who's held up this bank. It seemed like she's held up the bank, but she's not held up the bank. Right? She's trying to get the money changed. She wants to do a transaction when she's there. It all gets misled, everything else. Now, Tyler Perry has this thing sometimes in the movie. He takes you on an emotional roller coaster. And then you later on find out that this mother has PTSD. She's still doing her, regular stuff, like as though her daughter is here, because later on we find out that the daughter has passed away. Right? But the mother still continues to still carry on as normal, still carry on like getting up. She does the baths, like in her mind she's bathing her child. She does certain stuff, and she drops off to school. But even the headmistress is like, why is she here? So she's waving to her, before you see her carrying her child in a blanket, like easing the child, and this time she's carrying the blanket. There's nothing there. So later on we find out that the child has passed away, and this mother is heavenly she's still remembering stuff. Right? Now you can add in any bits I have missed in the comment section, because I know I've missed out several bits of it. Now the mother's interaction with the manager is the best part of it. Though people say, oh no, Tyler Perry shouldn't have done it like this, because that interaction, right, you can see there's a difference in lifestyle, or a difference with family. She has her children. She starts telling her the ages of each one. And she says, oh, they're lovely children. Oh, your family's so lovely. And then she turns to the lady and she said, if anything happens to me, right, I want you to take care of my baby. You know what I mean? She pleads to another mother, right? Whereas like with the teller who's about 28, is like trying to let them know, well, the sexual is not a bomb, because they kept thinking this thing that kept bleeping is a bomb. When she takes it out, she says, no, this is a science project. And she goes, can you not tell them it's not a bomb? It's a science project that I'm carrying for my daughter that I need to get to school. That's what I'm trying to get to school for my daughter. It's too late, because there's like the FBI stepped in now, and they're willing to take over, whereas the detective has broken that made trust with her. So, and I feel this is what happens in most cases where like the detectives get trust. Some of detectives who is good detectives get trust with the what seems to be the perpetrator. So the FBI is there and he's throwing his you know what, and then the detective says no, like, you know, something's happened. Right, we got to figure out who's the one who wrote her the ticket, and who she thinks he's going to unalive her. Finally, they weed out who he is, and she says to him, "No, you got to go. You got, like, you know, like your badge is going to be taken off or whatever." Then you see how the other detectives behave in all of this, right? Now, I want to see also if I see. I know people's having a problem with the ending. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the ending.
1. Chip Bergman. Deep Dive. Tyler Perry's new film is called Straw for a simple reason. Straw is about a woman who reaches her tipping point, star Taraji P. Henson tells Tudum. In other words, Jani Henson, is on her last straw.
That's what I said.
Everything that can go wrong, goes
wrong.
wrong in this one day, Henson continues. It's about how humans operate in that heightened state of panic and anxiety and pressure. When the pot is boiling and it finally explodes, what happens? What does that look like, and how does it affect the people around you? In Jani Ya's case, the explosion leads her down a desperate, chaotic path that even she doesn't seem in full control of, starting with the killing of her boss, and ending with a standoff with the police as she, almost accidentally, holds a bank hostage. She's just trying to survive, trying to be a great mother to her daughter, and then the circumstances in life put her in this situation, writer, director, and producer Perry says. But as the situation escalates, it becomes clear that there's an even darker story at the center of Jani Ya's pain. Read on to dive into the twists and turns of Straw if you're ready for the truth. Why is Jani Ya's daughter taken away from her? Jani Ya's day is a whirlwind of indignities. She's on the verge of being kicked out of her apartment over unpaid rent, she's on the outs with her boss Richard, Glenn Turman, at work, and she struggles to withdraw money from her bank account to pay for her daughter Aria's, Gabby Jackson, lunch. Everything culminates with a phone call from Aria's principal. Child Protective Services is threatening to take Aria away after bruises were discovered on her back. Jani Ya knows those bruises are from a slip in their bathtub, but she's still too late to stop the authorities from removing Aria from her care. It's a crushing blow for the single mother. For Jani Ya, the thing that is keeping her alive is her daughter, because that's her sense of belonging, Henson says. That's the one thing that makes her feel like a person, because she brought life into this world and she takes it very seriously. She doesn't have much, but all she has, she gives to her daughter. Chip Bergman. What happens to Jani Ya's boss Richard? After Aria is taken away, things go from bad to worse. A racist.
That's that's where she totally loses it. Yes, see the racist cop. Yes, that's the one where the other detectives weeds him out because Janaya, forgot to say her name. She kept saying, if I go out there, he's gonna get me. He's gonna get me. Right? She kept saying that.
Cop, Tilky Jones, runs Jani Ya off the road and threatens her. In the aftermath, her expired license is confiscated and her car is impounded. At work, Richard reprimands her for disappearing to her child's school and fires her, promising to mail her final check. Jenny Ye walks home in the rain to find that her landlord has put her belongings out on the curb. Then things take a turn. Upon returning to Richard and pleading with him to hand over her final paycheck, Jenny Ye is caught in the middle of a grocery store robbery. Two masked men enter and hold Richard and Jenny Ye at gunpoint, forcing them to load a bag with cash. One of them calls Jenny Ye by name, reading from her name tag. A struggle ensues, and Jenny Ye gets her hands on one of the robbers' guns. She shoots him, and the other flees, leaving Richard to accuse Jenny Ye of complicity in the botched robbery. After all, he thinks, one of the men knew her name. Jenny Ye says in the script, "Nobody sees us," Perry says. There's a contingent of people walking around on this planet who feel that way, and especially ones who look like her and are in her position. Richard doesn't see Jenny Ye, and he certainly doesn't listen to her. He pays a painful price for his callousness in a haze. Jenny Ye.
Yeah, and that's another thing I did pick up. That's why when Passion played what Peach said about the mothers, right? That's how I know that she's very ignorant, and she's not very broad because there's women whose lives are like this, where their life is turned upside down, things has happened, and they spiral. They spiral. They can't control nothing. And there is a person after a while, like they said, how when that person hits that tipping point, is all over. And that's what happened to Jania, her name is. That's what happened. She came to that tipping point, and that's when it all changes, because she just wants her money to pay her child's lunch. She just wants the money to pay the rent. She don't want all the money what the bank was going to give her. So, and the boss, he was very, very, very horrible boss. He was horrible.
Shoots her boss in the middle of the 911 call accusing her of the robbery. Chip Bergman. Why does Jenny Ye hold up the bank? At the bank across the street from the grocery store, Jenny Ye reaches her last straw. She's trying her best with very little, but what she lacks in opportunity, she has in abundance when it comes to the love she has for her child, Henson says. Jenny Ye is desperate to get her child back, and she brings her blood-stained paycheck to the bank as a first step toward that goal. But things go south quickly. Jenny Ye's expired license is still with the police, and she needs a form of identification to cash her check. At her wit's end, Jenny Ye places the robber's gun on the counter, and the bank shuts down. The bank manager sees the blinking lights of Aria's forgotten science project in Jenny Ye's bag and phones in a bomb threat to the police. Jenny Ye is a woman who doesn't really have a voice, Henson says. She hasn't been allowed to find it, and she's just trying to survive under the radar. I don't even really think she wants to be seen by many people. Whether she likes it or not, she's seen now. As the police close in around the bank, a tense standoff begins. Jenny Ye didn't set out to commit a crime today,
No,
but she's now holding the bank hostage. The bank section of the movie recalls a classic 1975 film, with a twist. It does have a bit of Dog Day Afternoon, Perry acknowledges. I absolutely love Al Pacino's performance in that, although their intention was to be criminals. That wasn't Jenny Ye's intention. Chip Bergman. Why does Detective Raymond help Jenny Ye? Jenny Ye's police counterpart is Detective Raymond, Tiana Taylor, a hard-nosed police officer who nonetheless finds more in common with Jenny Ye than she initially expected. I see a lot of Raymond in Jenny Ye and vice versa, with both of them being single moms, both of them coming from single mom homes, Taylor says. So she could empathize and sympathize with her a lot as well. Raymond tracks down surveillance footage of the grocery store robbery and speaks to Jenny Ye's neighbor Benny, Sinbad. Benny knows exactly who Jenny Ye is, even on her worst day, Johnny Ya never failed to give Benny some change. He communicates that to Officer Raymond, who leaves feeling sure that the seemingly hostile bank robber is actually just a woman in a difficult situation. That impression is solidified when Johnny Ya promises the police she'll emerge if Officer Oliver, the cop who ran her off the road, leaves. Raymond sets out to discover which officer wrote Johnny Ya a ticket, negotiating with her over the phone as she does. Even though we didn't have many scenes together, Taraji helped me through a lot of my scenes emotionally, Taylor says. I'm hearing her voice in my head. It's like she's there without even being here. Raymond tracks down Oliver and puts him in his place, smacking him across the face and dismissing him from the crime scene. Raymond shows Johnny Ya a photo of the officer, meeting her demands. It's time for her to leave the bank, but not before she receives a phone call from her mother. Chip Bergman. What happens to Johnny Ya's daughter? Throughout Straw, Johnny Ya has been fighting for her daughter even as she's preparing to be arrested. She's begging bank manager Nicole, Sherry Shepard, to take care of her baby. Nicole, who like Raymond has found herself sympathetic to Johnny Ya's plight, agrees, promising to bring Arya to visit her mother in jail. When Johnny Ya walks into the bank with the weight of the world on her shoulders, it just calls to Nicole, Shepard says. It completely snaps her out of her whole suburban world. She sees that Johnny Ya is a real person, and the way she can make a difference in this person's life. But Nicole won't be able to bring Arya to visit her mother, for one simple reason. When Johnny Ya's mother Dolores, Cheryl Fraser, finally gets through to her daughter on the phone, she reveals the horrible truth: Arya died of a seizure the night before. The heartbroken Johnny Ya has been hallucinating her daughter's presence all day. The twist was just as surprising to Perry as it was to his characters. Realizing that the child wasn't there the whole time, it was just as jarring to me as I think it is going to be to the audience, Perry says. Filming the scene where Johnny Ya realizes the truth of her situation was an emotional experience for the cast and crew. Directing that scene floored all of us, Perry says. I was in tears watching her from the monitor. And when the crew is touched, you know it's going to touch the audience. Chip Bergman. What happens to Johnny Ya at the end? As Johnny Ya grapples with her daughter's death, an FBI extraction team begins the process of storming the bank, setting up what seems to be an explosive conclusion. But a peculiar sort of sisterhood comes between Johnny Ya and disaster. She sees a vision of herself riddled with bullets, but Nicole talks her off the ledge and walks her out the exit, standing alongside her as the police surround the pair. Detective Raymond puts herself between the FBI and Johnny Ya, and takes it upon herself to put the handcuffs on. It's nice to meet you, she says, and Johnny Ya sees the crowd of protesters who have come to the bank to stand in solidarity with her dilemma. The movie represents three different types of black women, who are all the same black woman, who are all different walks of life, different stages of success, but can all empathize with each other, Perry says. The film's conclusion is a bittersweet one. Johnny Ya has escaped the deadliest fate imaginable, but she still has to find a way to live on. What is the reality of this movie? What does that feel like? Perry asks. The choice is left to the audience to decide what they want.
Now, that's why that's why you have to understand. I feel with the movie it identifies like how the crossover between two mothers, because like I said, when she shows Jalea, when the bank manager shows Jalea the picture of her, I think she got 3 daughters, and she says their ages, right? I feel that's when the connection happened between the bank manager and Jalea, because it's an understanding of the mothers, right? The two mothers. We seen it on here as well. Like I seen it in the mummy sector, where like you'll be talking about something and another mother will we will identify something neutral between us. pardon me, especially when you are a woman of color, particularly. I know, and like I said, it can also go across the board, but melanated women, they go through a certain thing. They always got to be the strong ones. The strong one. You are the strong one. You are the strong one. You are the strong one. Sometimes it's not so. Some women, like as it is called, the straw. When you reach that pinnacle of the last straw, this is what this movie reflects, right? When Jania, the calm person, the friendly person, she would even give her last to the man begging on the corner. Now, even though like she's going through rent problems, she's going through paying for her daughter's thing, she will give him her last, right? And there's women like this. There's women like this who will give their last to that person. And she made sure that the guy was all right. She said to him, are you okay? You got something to eat? You got you okay, right? And I feel when he spoke up, right, and like she's this person, right, because they're trying to paint her out like she's this criminal. Oh, this woman's holding up the bank. Like I said, when she sits down on near the bit where you sign the forms, and there's a phone pointing towards her, and she starts telling her day to day. This is what brings out all the people to rally for her, because it is a person who is struggling at that time, right? And even the lady who's renting to her sits down with the phone. You see her surrounded by her, I think it's her sons, watching, right? And it's like they felt it for her, so they came out, they rallied for her. Now, the other part, what they did say on the article is that how is a detective. The detective said she was raised by a single mother, and she understands what this lady is going through. And the detective kept saying, "It doesn't make sense. Why is she letting the hostages go?" Right? And the men were saying, "No. It's like this way." She said, "No." She said, "No. Why is it? Why is she not making big demands? Because she never made big demands. She said, all I want to do is cash my check. That's all I want to do is cash my check. I just want to cash my check, pay for my daughter's, pardon me, my belly, pay for my daughter's school dinners, pay my rent, and that's it." She said, right? She even remembers the bank lady when she started the bank, and she said that when the bank lady sits down and says to her, "Yes, I wanted to make changes." Right? She said, "I want right." The bank lady said, "I could be in the suburbs dealing with these people who's got money, but I'd rather be here in the grassroots making a change." Right? So, yes, the movie is very is a very touching movie, because even when like she sees herself being unalived by the police, I said, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna they done it." And then like you see her, it's like she's going through it in her mind how they're gonna come in. They're gonna come from the ceilings. They're gonna point their guns at me. She really goes through it in her mind. I think the most touching part of the movie is when she realizes how she's continuing a routine and the child is passed away, and she continued the routine. She gets up in the morning, she bathes the child, she bathes the child, she gives the child breakfast, she takes her to school, right? The license was out. Yes, the license is out, but she's still taking this child to school. She's making sure the child's in school, right? And she was and she and it's like they took the child away. So in her mind, it's like they took the child away. It's not that the child had passed. right? That's why it is I would say PTSD, a bit of mental health going on. She reached her pinnacle, right? She reached that end of the road. There's no return. I just want my money. I just want my money. Right, I got to pay my rent. I got to do this. How many people probably been through this where they're having how many jobs? That's why when certain people in the mummy sector talk, and these women on the mummy sector, particularly, because I'm going to use the mummy sector as an example, when they says, "Oh yes, I'm making more money on YouTube than you," there's women who work and don't even see their children, and this lady, she's working, trying to make ends meet. She's getting it from the boss. She's got to try and make her way to the job. She's getting stopped by police, getting harassed. I would say, right, she was racially harassed on her way to work, and it's like you feel it. You feel for her. I mean, you feel for her when you see the situation that they're in, when from the first scene already. But when you see the build up to the bank, to when she goes to the bank, then they assume what's in her bag is a bomb, but it's not a bag. It's not a bomb. It's a ticking by a science project, right? And Jania says, "Oh no, tell them it's not a bomb. It's not a bomb. It's a science project. It's a science project." It's too late because like they already put it down as high alert and all this. You know, the boy in the SWAT team, the FBI with the SWAT team, all this palaver. So what I really liked was part of the detective where she gravels back control. She gravels back that control. She was able to weed out the racist cop, right? And she was able to put herself between that FBI and Jania, and also the bank teller, because the bank teller walked with her, and that alone shows that how she also saw another side, that there is something else going on with this lady. There's something else, and then you know, it's a sad ending. It is a sad ending. I would say it's a sad ending. Normally Tyler Perry writes very, very cutting stories. Sometimes he takes it to a whole nother level. Sometimes he takes it too ghetto. But in this case, right, Taraji is such a good actress. She can carry any character. Right, she brings out the character. She researched the character, and she brought it out. You can see in her whole essence is this struggling mother. This struggling mother who's trying to do her best. She's trying to do her best. She's trying to do her best. She's trying to do all by the book. She's trying to work. She's trying to do this. Trying to do that. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. But then she reaches that tipping point of no return. And in fact, it could have even got worse. She could have been worse, but she wasn't, because she still was thinking about everybody else around her. The old man, who could, the old man and the old lady. She sent away the other customers that was in the bank. She thought about that old lady. The old lady couldn't breathe because they took down the air conditioning or something in the bank, and it was bothering the lady. So she said to the lady, can you please take her, let her go? You know what I mean? It could have gone any which way, right? But it is a very good movie on the whole, right? I think, yes, though he's had backlashes for certain things, maybe on this one he literally tried to reach parts tried to show an example of characters that normally would not be put on screen. Like normally, like as we know from that series, what he did, how he showed the strippers. This is a completely different level, but I don't know. People might say that he hates black women. I don't know. I feel I am a Tyler Perry fan. Yes, I am, and sometimes he gets it right, and sometimes he gets it wrong, and sometimes I'm thinking, what the hell have I just watched? Now, in this case, I'm not thinking, what the hell have I watched? There's a lot of turns and twists, a lot of different scenarios that goes on with this lady, even her visioning her own unaliving, her own demise by the police, by the FBI. So if you have seen Straw, please leave a comment underneath the live. I was supposed to do Passion, but I don't know what happened. But tell me what you think. Tell me your feeling when you saw it. Tell me about how you felt about the characters. Tell me, did he portray the single mother good or bad or whatever? So with that said, I'm going to leave it right there, and I'll see you in the next one.